Good evening and welcome to the February 13, 2018 Eastchester Fire District regular meeting. We started tonight's meeting at 6:30. Immediately went into executive session to discuss personnel and legal matters, and now we came out, it's a little after 7:30. So we already said the Pledge of Allegiance, so we'll kick off the meeting tonight by starting with our treasurer's report.
So tonight, we're looking at our budget through January 31st. We are looking at a budget deficit of approximately $1.3 million. This is typical for January. This is always the way it looks. It has to do with the last payroll of December gets paid in January, so it always looks like there's a deficit. So that's typically what we're used to seeing. Again, it's just a timing issue related to when expenses were paid. We are going to be closing out our 2017 year, and in order to do that, we need to make about $160,000 of additional budget transfers. So overall for the year, we still came in under budget about $1 million, but there are certain line items where we need to move funds around. Typical, what we're used to seeing, a lot of this is going to be related to salary, overtime, and also some of the Chester Heights renovations that we're doing, which weren't specifically budgeted for last year. So you have the list of the budget transfers. I don't know if you want to read them.
I'll tell you what, you can continue with the report, and then when you're done, I will read the transfers and we'll make a motion to move forward with them.
Then we've completed all of our year-end filings, so our W-2s went out to our members, 1095Cs for healthcare, our vendors and retirees that were required to receive them received their appropriate 1099s. We've done our filings with civil service, our gross earnings report, and our certified payroll. Our annual financial statement audit will be taking place next week. So our auditors, BST & Co., will be in the office next week on Monday and Tuesday. We'll be filing our annual AUD with the state by February 28th. And we are still waiting on the results of our PERMA audit from last year. They just went to a new system, and it's taking them longer than usual to process their findings. So those are the items for this month.
Okay, thank you. So as Jamie mentioned, there's several transfers we'd like to make amongst general ledger accounts for the reasons she mentioned. So I'll just quickly read through them with the amounts. The account to where the money is going and the account from where it's coming will be the order I'll use, and then after that we'll make a motion to make those transfers. Okay, so to account outside services from insurance, $620. To telephone from insurance, $1,944.47. To uniforms from hoses and nozzles, $16,656.33. To office supplies from postage, $373.01. To subscriptions from computers, software, and internet, $8,891. To fire lieutenant salary from holiday pay, $2,666.40. To uniform firefighter salary from holiday pay, $41,536. To capital improvement station for exterior renovation from professional consulting fees, $25,275.59. To overtime firefighters from terminal leave, $37,832.36. To workers' comp from hospital, $20,638.69. To physician/medical costs from hospital, $3,000. The total of those transfers is $159,433.85. Again, these are just transfers among accounts. There's not new money coming in or going out of the accounts. So I'd like to make a motion to. First of all, any discussion on any of those? Does anyone want to say anything? Okay. So, anyone want to make a motion to make those transfers?
Motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Stu, Anthony, and I'll poll the board. Stu?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Tom?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, since we're on finance-related issues. Let's pay the bills now. When we were in the executive session, the board had a chance to review the bills. We have 2 sets of warrants and 1 credit card bill. The first set of warrants is dated January 29, 2018, totals $215,531.89. The second set of warrants is dated February 13, 2018. It totals $378,870.35. And we have a credit card bill dated 2/18/2018 in the amount of $4,776.62. I have a motion to pay the bills.
Make a motion.
Second.
Stu, Anthony, poll the board. Stu?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
I'm a yes.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, Chief Tween, can you give your monthly report now, please?
Yes, Commissioner, thank you. The alarm activity for January was quite busy, 375 total alarms. 8 of them were fire-related, 178 were EMS or rescue-related, and we gave mutual aid 3 times, 2 times to Mount Vernon, 1 time to the Fire District Greenville. New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and Westchester County Department of Emergency Services arranged for disposal of 10 5-gallon pails of AFFF firefighting foam, which no longer meets DEC standards and can no longer be used for firefighting or for training. So we would have had to either pay to dispose of that foam with the environmental company, or the other recommendation they made was to use it to make concrete and then use it for parking blocks or something. So 50 gallons of it would have been a lot of parking blocks. So the DEC had a program to get rid of old foam. We took advantage of that program, so we don't have to worry about disposing of it, and all our current foam meets all the DEC standards as required. Vehicle and firehouse maintenance continues through the use of outside vendors. I request permission to use the Fire District credit card to purchase wheels for car 2102, as we want to get a set of snow tires. We've looked around for them, and we think the best price that we can get is on Amazon. But to use Amazon, we have to use the credit card. It's going to be about $850 for 4 wheels. We would then purchase through our tire vendor. We'll buy 4 snow tires. What happened with 2102, it has all-weather tires on it. And when we had 6 or 8 inches of snow, it had a few incidents where it was slipping on hills. We talked to a couple mechanics. They don't recommend getting chains for it. It'll tear up the suspension. They felt to just go with snow tires in the winter and the all-weather tires the rest of the year. But for me to use the credit card, I need permission from the board. So I would request permission to spend up to $1,000 on wheels for car 2102. We have several vehicles that we would like to surplus that we are no longer using. We want to remove them from the insurance. Commissioner Winter believes that he can locate the necessary paperwork so that we can auction off the vehicles on an auction website. So he's going to look in the files and see if he can locate the paperwork. He asked if we hold off a month before we decide to get rid of them some other way. We are close to finishing the process of finalizing apparatus design and hope to be able to place an order for either 2 or 3 pumpers by the end of February. I would like to thank Captain Stupple for his assistance on his project of designing the apparatus. Fire prevention and code enforcement activities continue with numerous plan reviews and inspections. Captain Pinaval has advised me that the municipal training software that we signed up for will take place next Thursday at Eastchester Town Hall. This will allow our fire prevention department to share documents with the Eastchester and Bronxville building departments, and vice versa. We'll be able to see relevant building department documents as necessary that relate to fire department business. Westchester County Human Resources has advised that the candidates that were taking the CPAT testing have all passed. I would encourage the board to hire firefighters for the Spring Academy class, which starts the second week of March, as 54% of our current force are 50 years or older. And running short, currently 3 positions, is also creating increased overtime costs. So I leave that decision up to the board, but I would encourage them to hire as soon as possible. Lieutenant Olivier has completed his first-line supervisor training program, as he's required to do within 18 months of promotion. He took it down at FDNY, runs it for all of New York State. It lasts a month, and he completed that successfully. Captain Calby has been conducting our required New York State Department of Labor training and fit testing. He has also been assisting with the EpiPen, Narcan, and albuterol programs that we are going to implement. The program should be up and running by the end of March. The health department is coming in the 4 Mondays in March to do the Narcan training, and we're going to have people do the albuterol and the epinephrine training also in March. So we anticipate all the training to be completed by March and should have the program up and running by the end of March. The New York State Department of Labor complaint from 2016 has been closed and finalized by PESH. The 7 violations were corrected and complied with, and we implemented the policies that they require us to have under New York State labor law. And finally, a safety committee meeting was held on January 25th, where several safety issues were discussed, and I think it was went very well. That's the end of my report.
Okay, a couple of things I would say. PESH is Public Employee Safety and Health. Kudos to you, Chief, for doing a fine job in addressing those violations, and kind of now we're in compliance, so I know there was a lot of work there. We appreciate the effort. As far as the authorizing for the $1,000 for snow tires, I would like to make a motion to authorize the chief to spend up to $1,000 on snow tires for the command car. I think it's a good idea to have tires on rims ready to go, swap them out instead of having to swap tires every season. We have storage, so.
I would second that.
All
For
right.
the rims, though, not the tires. The tires will
Yeah,
be, so for the rims.
Right.
Sure.
Okay, so poll
second.
board.
Aye.
All right, so motion carries. Chief, go ahead. You're good to go there.
Thank
Chief mentioned the purchase of fire trucks. The chief and senior leadership in the department have spent a lot of time working on builds for 3 new pumper trucks. They'll be replacing 3 very old fire trucks. I believe the average age is 17 years, is that?
17, 18 years old.
Yeah. We're putting the finishing touches on those. I believe that we're going to end up holding a special meeting later this month to approve the purchase of those trucks, and also deal with, we're getting very close to filling our vacant maintenance mechanic position. And the plan right now is, if everything is in place, that we'll hold a special meeting towards the end of this month to deal with those 2 issues. I would imagine that would probably be a morning meeting at headquarters, because it's a very limited meeting. I don't think we're going to videotape it, but that will be there, and there'll be information available, minutes on what ultimately we decide to do.
Just one question I want to ask about the new rigs. Chief, do you have the height of them? Because the only thing that concerns me is that they get underneath the railroad trestle in Bronxville, which is 10.6.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. If they could fit in headquarters, they're going to be able to fit under that railroad trestle. So
Okay.
we'll make sure that that's
All
not
right.
an issue.
And one other thing that I asked you, did you find out what the actual cost would be if they were all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive?
Yeah, I didn't get the price back on that, but I think it would be significant, so I will forward that information to you when I get that.
Okay, thank
They
you.
are looking into it. It is
Do-
available.
Do you think that is a good idea or not?
I don't know of any other department in this area that has it. Maybe in other parts of the country where there's more extreme weather.
Yeah.
So, let's see what the cost would be, you
Yeah,
know.
because I know the upper counties have them, four-wheel drives, and some of them have all-wheel drives, whatever, if it makes that much of a difference. But I was just wanted to know that
Yeah,
as curiosity.
I'll get the number as soon as I get it.
Okay.
I'll forward it to
Thank
the
you.
board.
Okay. Next up is the approval of minutes. Probably anybody who's followed is well aware, we were without a secretary for a large portion of last year, basically from February through October. And during that time, our treasurer did a great job kind of stepping in and wearing 2 hats. But one thing that didn't get done over that period was approval of the monthly meeting minutes. We hired Lisa Lucarelli in October. She has worked diligently to go back, watch all those meetings, and prepare the minutes. And we're at a point now where the board has reviewed those minutes, and we're ready to basically vote to adopt the meetings, the minutes of those meetings. This would include the following dates for which you haven't already noticed, Commissioner Winter couldn't be here this evening, and Commissioner Roach joined the board in January. So the minutes, with the exception of one set, every one of those meetings were attended by myself, Commissioner Laurie, and Commissioner Rabin. It includes the March 25th, 2017 special meeting, the March 27th, 2017 regular meeting, the April 20th, 2017 regular meeting, the May 25th, 2017 regular meeting, the June 27th, 2017 regular meeting, the July 17th, 2017 regular meeting, the August 31st, 2017 special meeting, the September 11th, 2017 regular meeting, and the January 11th meeting where the four of us were present, which was the reorg meeting. So would anyone like to make a motion to adopt those minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
second it.
Commissioner Laurie and Stu, and I'll poll the board. Stu?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
I'm an aye, and Tom, you're an abstain because you're, yeah. Oh, you're an aye for the last set of minutes. Let's, okay. In January, when we held our reorg meeting, typically that's when we look to discuss and review compensation of our annual appointment employees. We had a lot on the agenda this January, so we didn't do it, but we assured our treasurer that we would review this early in the first quarter. We've spent a fair amount of time. Jamie Hedstrom is our current treasurer. She's been our treasurer since the first quarter of 2016. She's currently paid $63 an hour. Jamie is a CPA and has a master's in taxation, and universally agreed in the department that she's doing an excellent job. We evaluated Jamie's performance as well as the compensation levels of people in similar positions as treasurers or controllers of government entities with responsibilities similar to our district. Our district is somewhat unique in that for a fire district that has a $17 million budget, which is quite large. Most districts in the state of New York are nowhere near that. So we did compare it to other government entities. We also considered, the expanding contributions that Jamie has made since she joined the department. I mentioned earlier the fact that she had taken over for the secretary when that position was vacant. She's also taken on the role as healthcare administrator, and she's also been very instrumental in preparing reports and parsing, information from our reporting management system, which has been very helpful to the board. I would like to make a motion to propose that we increase Jamie's salary from $63 to $66 an hour, retroactive to January 1st of this year. And again, just on behalf of the board, tell you that we think you're doing a great job, and we're thrilled that you're working here. So, all right, Stu's going to second that, and I'll poll the board. Stu?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
I'm an aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, next up, Chester Heights. As we've mentioned before, we're in the process now of moving on to the balance of exterior restorations to that building. This past summer, we replaced the roof. That job was done by Salvatore and Sons Roofing, which is a local Yonkers-based roofing company. They did a great job. We were quite pleased. The project went well, came in at our expectation in terms of the budget. Now we're moving to the facade and window restoration of that building, basically everything below the bottom of the roof line. A legal notice appeared in yesterday's Journal News announcing that bid documents are available. Details, bid specifications, drawings for the project. The way this works is a contractor sees the legal notice, hears about it, contacts us. We have them fill out a brief bidder information sheet, just some quick details on their organization, principal, contact information, that kind of thing. Then we give them access to the documents, and hopefully we get interest in those companies bidding on the project. Currently, we have a walkthrough scheduled for March 5th, and the bids are due on March 23rd. It's a government project, so the bids are due, I believe the 23rd is a Friday morning at 11 o'clock. They'll be open and read aloud, and then the board will evaluate the bids at a later time and decide who the winning bidder will ultimately be. Anybody who's watching who knows someone who's qualified to do this kind of work, has experience in this kind of work and in government projects, I strongly recommend that you contact the district. We've already had 2 contractors request bid documents for the project, and hopefully we'll have more to report on this in the coming weeks. Next up, I have a somewhat brief discussion. We had mentioned before we were going to make some changes to the department's code of ethics. Stu has been kind of spearheading that effort. He's spent a lot of time on it, and he'll give everyone a little more information about the different paths we're pursuing.
So at our last meeting and in a few meetings prior to that, we discussed the formation of an ethics panel and how we would go about and do that. And one of the avenues that we've gone to proceed down is to reach out to some outside counsel as well as the county board of ethics to see how we can and will construct the panel, what we would have to do, what the entire process would entail. We have started to receive some proposals back from council. We are waiting for the county ethics board and the county attorney's office to get back to us to see what options are at the county that maybe will be more proactive for what we need moving forward versus outside counsel. So right now, we're just weighing the pros and cons of each. We just received these, I think these proposals from outside counsel in the last day. Both of them were indisposed for a lot of last week and the week before. So with more information, I think we'll be able to get something moving probably by our March meeting, hopefully. But for right now, we're just collecting information, trying to see exactly how we can proceed and what the best avenue for the district will be.
Okay, excellent. I'm hopeful that the County Board of Ethics will produce something that kind of works for us, but we'll have more information in the future. Okay, a quick update on a couple of legal matters. As you know, the district foiled the local volunteer organizations, the VOA and the VBA, for documents. We eventually pursued litigation to get those documents. On January 25th, we received a data dump from the volunteer organizations. On January 29th, we had a hearing with the judge presiding over the case regarding those documents. It is the district's belief that we did not get all of the documents that we asked for. The volunteers are contending they did provide the documents we've asked for. The judge asked basically for a list of what we felt was not delivered, and that information is going to be provided to the judge, who is then going to make her own determination on the matter and release some sort of information or ruling on what she believes hasn't been delivered and the next steps. We expect this to play out over the course of the next month to month and a half. And that's really kind of, all that's new on that case, and we'll leave it at that. We also had a case against retirees over healthcare monies that the district paid toward healthcare benefits over a period of years, which we were not required to pay and which the retirees should have been paying. That was set for trial on January 8th. After presenting the case, the judge ruled, after we presented our case before the defense presented theirs, or the other side presented theirs, the judge ruled against us and granted the defendant's motion for a directed verdict. Essentially, the judge ruled that it was not against equity and good conscience for the retirees to retain the benefit because the district never put them on notice that they owed the money or billed them for it prior to 2013 when the underbilling was uncovered, despite the fact that the board knew that the retirees were required to make payments. Simply stated, the board knew the rules, voted to ratify and pay the bills, yet was unaware that the retirees were being underbilled by the treasurer. We believe that is not necessarily the case, and we may have a strong case on appeal, and the district is pursuing its options with regards to that case. But the trial was set for January 8th, and that was the findings. So I'm reporting that, but there probably will be more to discuss about this in future meetings. Next up, Tom is going to just talk a little bit about, Brian, Chief had already touched upon the Safety Committee meeting, but maybe Commissioner Roach can just give us some of his thoughts on it.
Certainly. Well, we had a 2-hour meeting with the, professional firefighters, and they gave us a list of things that they would like us to address, and most of them already been addressed. We had a very positive meeting, considering this was my first safety meeting. I know that Commissioner Incledon was there also. And we just had an open dialogue, and we listened to what they were thinking and absorbed their ideas, and certainly we're going to talk about them and hopefully come to fruition.
Okay. All right. I guess now we'll open it up to public comments. Does anyone from the public want to speak? 916? Oh, sorry. Okay. I think 916 had a meeting tonight somewhere else, so, okay. Board comments? Anything anyone wants to
I just want to reiterate, thank you both to Lisa and Jamie, of course, for all the work you do. We're very happy to be able to do what we could do tonight for you, Jamie. And Lisa, thanks so much for getting all these minutes and everything, from headphones to computer. Thank you so much for doing this. It really makes a difference. So thank you to both of you for everything you're doing.
what he said. Okay, great. So does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I will make that motion.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, I'll poll the board. Stu?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
I'm a yes. Tom?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Very good.